Hi everyone, and welcome back to Nellie and Ruth Designs. Today I'm going to show you what I did when I was on the road and I was stuck in the car for eight and a half, sometimes one day it was 9 hours. I want to show you everything that I did. I did a little video before I left on car crafting and little things you could bring with you to work on in the car. But first I want to thank you for joining in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And thank you for all the wonderful comments. I really appreciate it. Let's see. I think first there was 3 things that I brought. If you watched the video, I had my mom's pink sewing box and I filled that up with what I wanted to take with me. And I brought my embroidery. Brought all handwork this time. I brought my embroidery. I brought fibers, my materials and my ribbons and my silks, so I could make clusters. And then I brought a bunch of papers I had run off, digital prints, so I could cut. So the first day, it was between cutting and working with my fibers. So this was on the way home. I also did cutting on the way home, and you'll see, I'm going to set this aside for right now. I'm going to show you first everything that I cut, and I did a lot. This is how I store some of my ephemera that I cut. This is actually, I don't want to bend it right now because I have these sticking out. This actually folds up into, and I know I'm getting in your face with this, but this folds up into an A-frame, and I can set this on my desk to the right of me, and then I can just grab things out of it, as I want to work. So I had a lot to cut. I'm just going to show you some of the things that I did. I was able to cut all of these tags here. I'm not sure, there might be a baker's dozen here that I cut. But I really like these tags. I'm going to put in the link where I got all of the digitals. So if there's something here that you see that you like, you can go right over to the shop and make a purchase as well. So I cut all of these tags here. And then this here is from my Porch prints. This is the digital images I'm using to make my Lazy Daisy junk journal for my girlfriend. So these are very large Viewmaster reels. And these are 5 inches, all right? And I know these are big, but they will fit in they should fit in your junk journal. But I'm going to take these, and I think I'm going to make pockets. And I'll be doing that in one of my next videos. I think these would make some really pretty pockets. So I cut these, and I tried to do the best job I could in the car. I wish I had a large 5-inch punch that I could just punch these out, but so I cut those. These are a very pretty tag. I don't know if these might be Artie Mae's. I might have gotten these off of her Etsy shop. These are very pretty. And then these little specimen envelopes. I cut these. I could just sit and look at everyone's ephemera all day long. There's so many pretty images out there. I don't know. I don't know if I failed to tell you, but this is from Creative Memories, this holder right here. And if you're familiar with Creative Memories, you used to be able to buy a round disc and then it had a cutting tool that fit in it, and it would go around so you could cut perfect circles. I donated my ovals and my circles to one of the schools when my boys were going to St. Mary's school, and they were always looking for arts and crafts. So I kept the folder. I haven't used it for many years. It's a great, you can store paper in here. It's got these really nice pockets that will fit a 12 by 12 piece of paper, whatever. And then you were to put, excuse me, you were to put your plastic cutters in these pockets. And I just brought this along with me, and I was stuffing things in them as I was cutting. And it worked out really well. And then I realized last night when I came home to unpack everything, it actually sets up as an A-frame. So, and I cut these images. These are all my porch prints. This is all part of the Lazy Daisy digital kit. So I cut all of these here. Some of these are duplicate because I know I'd be using more than one. So I cut those. These are nice and big. And then these here, I believe, are from 717 Vintage Studio. But again, like I said, I'll put the shops in my description. But these are very pretty. All of these here. And it's a nice variety of color. I used a lot of her digitals in my blue and white junk journal that I'm still making. I haven't finished that. But these are very pretty. And these I really like because you can make a nice pocket with these. And the larger tags that she offers, those are 6 3/4 by 3 3/4. So these are a fun size. You could really jazz these up and make them a lot of fun for your pages. So those got cut, that sheet. And then these I didn't cut. This was just something, again, I think these are part of Artie Mae's collection. And I just pulled these and I put them in here because I knew I would be using these as well. I cut all my Lazy Daisy. I got all of these cut. These I did not cut. Again, I pulled these out of my box. I have a little box, and I'll show you what I did cut in the box. But I took these out because I cut all of these. All these little tiny. I did all the black, I did the blues, the multicolors. So I wanted to take these out of here and fill that up. So these I just transferred out, and these are very pretty. And I think these are, like I said, I think these are Artie Mae's, but I will double check. But these here are, this paper here is just regular copy paper, because I wanted it to be thin enough so if I layered a few different things on it, my tags wouldn't be too bulky. But these are very, very pretty images. And you can tell that they were in the other box because these little things are spitting and spewing out. And then these I did copy on a heavier weighted paper, and they're the same. So just these I printed on white, and the others I printed on a cream colored. And let's see, what else did I cut? Oh, I cut all these little ones. This was a chore. These little ones were tiny. These little ones actually come on the same sheet as the larger ones. So these are just duplicates of the larger ones, but the paper is very, very pretty, very colorful. So those were cut in the car. And then again, these are very small. They're cute, and they go with the larger tags that I cut. So I cut those. I cut all of these, which I really like. These are fun to use. And then I have smaller little Viewmaster ones I cut. I was very busy cutting. And then these here with the flowers on them. And I got those cut. And oh yeah, and I did a lot more of Mrs. Cogs sewing sayings. So that was everything that I got cut. So that was a lot of work. It worked out, really well in the car. So, and then when I got tired of cutting, I think I cut for about 5 hours. Then I went and I made quite a few fabric clusters. And I had packed up just this one bag here. And I brought laces. And I brought some of my little scraps that I keep on these cardboard containers, which are fun. And then this here I brought, and I absolutely love this. I had Tanya from Tatty Treasures ask me about this. So I told her I would see what I could do. She asked if this came in green. But I looked back, and this is from, I think, 2010. Well, copyright 2010, but I think that's just about the time I got it. I think I bought this at a scrapbooking crop, and it was on the tables that some of the girls were selling their items. Don't remember really where I bought it. It was so long ago, and I never really used it. And I wanted to use it, so I brought that. And then I brought my sari silk, which I had pressed out. I like to press my silk out. It just makes it easier for me to use. And then I brought all of these scraps here. I brought red, all different shades of red. And then I brought the yellows. All right. So I had that to work with. And then some extra pieces of silk. This is what I have left from what I had made. And then I brought this seam binding that I found in one of my mom's craft boxes. So that's what I had to work with. And it was actually quite easy, seeing that I was, just working on my lap in the car. And this is some of the green that I had used. I cut, which is very pretty. I didn't use any of that. I didn't use any of this. I just used the green out of that pack. And then out of this pack here, I used this lace, which is very pretty. And I think all I used was this lace here. And this is really pretty. This is fun. So those were the two, and of course the seam binding here. So that's what I had picked. And I used this here with a little flower. So let me show you what I made. So these are the little clusters that I had made with the sari silk. And I just took a little tiny piece of white, I don't know, I wouldn't call it, it's not really muslin. I can't think of the name of it now. And I fray all of my pieces that I clip. And then I really like using this because you can separate it like I did here. And it almost looks like angel wings. And I think the next time when I need to make more, I'll do a little video on these. but you just clip it here and then attach it on. And then I had clipped this here, this lace. You can see just where the flower is, and then I attach that. So I made quite a few of those. So I call these here my little angel wings. And each one has a little different flower on it. So I made those. Is there another wing? No. And then with the yellow, I made these cute little pieces. And this here is from this lace trim here. This little piece of lace here. So I made those. And I really like these because they're just so soft and feminine looking. This one I used with some gray and the darker yellow. And these will go in the Lazy Daisy junk journal that I'm making. Here's another one with the yellows. I'll get all the little yellow ones out. This, I added a little purple piece of sari silk to that. Let's see. Oh, here's another little, this one here, this little angel wing one. I got my mom's button box out and I took a lot of her buttons. These buttons go back to the 1960s. And she has a beautiful, very large tin of buttons. And I went through her buttons and I got some of my favorite ones. So that's one of her buttons there. And here's another one with, this is just a plain little, just a very simple little button there. And then I think I have a couple that I made. These are just plain with the little gourd pin and a charm. I think there was a couple using this, but this button I really like. I don't know if you can see it. It's indented here. It's very, very pretty. So I used that with just a simple little silver charm under it. There's that one. And then these buttons I thought were really fun. She had 6 of these. I was tempted to use all of them, but I didn't want to. I wanted to save them maybe for another project. So I used 3. And I used the, as you can see, the reds with that. And then this here, lace comes from this one here. So I made those. I really like making these. Once you start, it's kind of hard to stop. I'm going to kind of sort these by buttons. This one here again, I used just one of her simple buttons with the little, I'm going to call these angel wing clusters. And then I added a little tree of life to this one. So we have that one. And then these here, these buttons here, I really think are cool. Again, let me see. That might be the only, there's another one. Here's another one. And that might be, again, I have a tendency to, here's another little angel wing with some sari, the colorful sari. I have a tendency, if I find a button I like, I want to make a few of them, but I don't want to use them all up, because once I use them up, then they are done. This one I think is cute. It's got little bumblebee material there. And then this one here is, I did use, let's see, this is a little bit different, this one here, where, I don't know, oh, over here. This one. This was my mom's. This was some leftover, and this here is from this one here. And then I just kind of took a long one and put it vertically, and then this one horizontally. But if you make clusters, I'm sure you find them very addicting as well. They're just so sweet to make. They're easy. I'll show you this one after, those after. These buttons I really liked as well. And I like using these reds. All of these wonderful red. And I would have never thought to use these to make clusters. I saw Tanya. She did a video on using up her scrap, bits and pieces of scrap material. I just wouldn't have thought. I would have tried to use them some other way. So thank you, Tanya, for posting your video. And then these I added a little daisy charm. I just thought these are very cute. And I love these buttons. These came out of my mom's button box from the 60s. And let's see. These two here, I have a large, I don't have it up here because I haven't unpacked it yet, but I have a very large piece of material, and these are all crocheted together, and I'm clipping it apart. I'm not sure what it was, if it was part of a bedspread. I bought it from another gal, and I used these also as accent pieces, and I just think these are so pretty. These little crocheted pieces. So I did those. I really rocked this. This was just a lot of fun. These are my leftover scrap, so we'll set that aside. Then I created a little bit bigger one here. And I don't have, again, I'm not sure. Oh, this, I know where this came from. I'll show you where I clipped this. If I can find the bag that I just had. Oh, right here. These pieces here came from this. And I just clipped around all these flowers, made a strip, and then I would just cut if I wanted one or if I wanted two. I think on most of these I used two. So that came from that one there. And this one here I think is cute. On these I added two charms. I added the flower and the tree of life. I think these are really cute. And there's two charms on this one. And this one because these are a little bit bigger pieces, I added the larger charms. And these would be really cute if you were making a belly band in your junk journal and you put this as a centerpiece. And maybe we can make some of those in one of my journals. And then again, these are just a very simple button. Aren't they pretty? I just love these. And then here's another. This is fun. This is a rubber button I found in my mom's box. It's old. It had little marks on it. I tried to clean it up. So I used that. I just thought that was really cool. And I liked the shape of it here. It's kind of rounded, like a saucer. And then I just added this cute little charm to the side of it. So I have that one. And then these are a couple of my favorites because I love these buttons. These are just really different buttons. And they're hollow inside. And I used my cranberry embroidery thread to sew these on so they would match the cranberry material. So yeah, I'm really happy. I got all of these made in an afternoon in the car. And then I got probably half of them done because it was about 3 hours. And then Thursday after the appointments, both my husband and I had some work to do with his company. I had a couple phone calls to make and he had a lot of phone calls to make. So I just continued working on these while he did a little bit of phone work. And then on the drive home, I didn't want to pull any of this out and I didn't want to pull out anything else to cut. So I decided to do some embroidery. And Um, I'm sure you have seen in my other videos, because I do mention it, where I'm doing the ribbon embroidery. And I'm starting to make these really cute little patches. I call them patches. And I'll be putting a backing on this here, because I don't like to see, I don't like, even though it's going to be down on a paper, I don't like to see the work. And also it just gives it a clean, if I put something behind it, you don't see the threads. And I'm very careful. I try to not to make too much of a mess on the back, and I'll show you what I mean on what I did. So I brought my embroidery along, my ribbon embroidery, and I'm really enjoying this. Um, I have a gal that contacted me on Instagram, and she asked if I could do a little custom order for her, and I told her yes, that was no problem. Um, so I'm going to try to do a few little tutorials on the ribbon embroidery, because I have had people ask. I have a book. I'm learning this myself, so I'm not a pro at it. I am getting a little bit better. I'm more confident is what I should say. So I really like combining the little pearls. They're just beads. They're not real pearls, but the pearl beads. And I'm kind of following some of the patterns in the book, and then I try to, do my own thing, be a little creative as well. This was a new stitch that I believe this is called the bullion knot, the bullion running knot, I think this is what it's called. And in my book, it shows that there are roses like this made out of this bullion running knot. I'm not there yet. I don't have the confidence to try to do that. I want to get, just it's kind of tricky. And if I show this online, you'll see why. This was a little harder, this fabric here, to work on, because it's very solid, where this is a little more forgiving, and you can kind of see where the needle would go through the fiber a little bit easier. The same with this. You can see this is very solid. This is a muslin, and there's not much give. So to get the needle and to get this 7mm ribbon through this can be hard. I have to work at it. But I think these are cute. To me, these look like little swamp cattails that grow, or just a little pretty little, maybe lupin, wild lupin that grows along the road. So I will cut these into rectangles, and then I will back them with another piece of paper or another piece of material, and I'll make little patches out of these. And then I had just started, I got this done here, and I forget what this stitch here is called, but I love making these stitches. This is just fun. And then these are little pearls, again, that these came from my mom's craft box, because she used to make a lot of Christmas ornaments, and these are left over. So I love using these little oblong pearl beads. And then this here, the sunflower, I have to finish this. I just have to put on, I have to use 7mm ribbon for the leaves on this. All I brought with me was 4mm green, which was kind of silly. So I will finish this, and then I will cut little back patches for all of these, and then I will make these and use these in my junk journals. So yeah, I think it was a well thought out, array of different things that, crafts that I do at night on the couch when I watch TV, and the lighting was so good in the car. But I think there's 30 or 40 of these that I made. So I'm way ahead on my material clusters. And then the embroidery, always does take a little bit longer because you have to, change your needle out. And this is what I was, when I embroider, because I knew on this one here I'd be going from flower to flower, and then the green. I try to follow my stitch down. So like with the green, if I finish my tall reeds here, I try to bring the material, or not the material, the thread back down. I try not to do a lot of crisscrossing. It just keeps it a little bit neater and cleaner. So yeah, so that was my car crafting, and I'm very happy with everything that I got done. It was very organized. I didn't have anything, thrown all over the front seat. I worked in the front seat, and yeah, like I said, I'm very happy with what I got done. So the next time you take a trip, your even if it's a 4-hour drive, bring your embroidery with you. You can even take some of your fibers here and cut them into squares, and you can just bring a little basket and you can make your fringe on all of these. So there's always something that you can do in the car if you're able to. That's what I wanted to share with you. So thanks for joining in on this video, and I hope this inspires you to do a little bit of car crafting. And, if you have embroidered in the past and it's been a while since you have, get it out again, because it's just a wonderful craft, and the colors and the fiber, and it makes me happy. So I'm sure it would make you happy to work with it as well. So thanks everybody, and I'll see you in my next video. All right, bye-bye.